Hello, everyone, and thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. My name is AC Roby. I'm a real estate advisor with eXp Realty, and today I want to talk to you about what you need to purchase a home. This is going to be good. You might want to get a pen. Let's get into it. Here is an outline of what we're going to discuss. So income, we really want to talk about the income because that, of course, is important. Savings, you need to have a savings. Your credit score is important. You definitely want to know what you can afford. And then the documents you'll need and some financing options are also some things that we'll talk about. So for your income, you want to have a steady income. Steady income means you've had it for at least the last 2 years. And if you are with a different employer within that 2-year span, then being within the same industry is a plus. Your savings, this is really important. So while you might have cash sitting around, or you might have somebody who can give you money, lenders or banks, they really want to be able to verify your savings. They want to know where this money came from. They like to see it in a bank account, of course. So if you don't have a savings account already, open a savings account. Pick a goal, set an amount that you want to save. Let's say $2,000 or $3,000 for an example, and work your way into that. Figure out how much you need to save a month, a week, or bi-weekly to get to that goal, and let it go into a savings account. So when it's time for you to apply for your loan, you'll be able to show verifiable savings. Your credit score. So this is really important. What's your credit score? Do you know what your credit score is? Having a credit score of 620 is a great place to start, but you can be at 580 to begin the process as well. What's your credit history? Credit history is very important. Negative items on your credit history, you're going to want to correct those and put them in good standing. Your payment history makes up a very important part of your credit history and credit score. So you want to make sure that you are making payments on time to your creditors, to your bills, etc. You can view your credit report annually for free at www.annualcreditreport.com. If you don't have credit, you might be wondering, well, what am I going to do because I don't have credit, AC? Don't worry, I got you. So not having credit is not impossible. You'll be able to buy a house, but you may encounter some challenges finding a lender. And you're also going to need some additional documents. While we're on the topic of credit, I want to do a quick background on credit, right? So credit history is a record of the bills you pay, like a car note, a student loan, things of that nature. This information is on what we call a credit report, which is created by the credit bureaus. The credit bureaus that we all have is Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. We are given credit scores based on our credit history. Your payment history and the amount you owe or your debt are the most important factors of your credit scores. Credit scores can range from 300 to 850. Of course, 850 being the best credit score that you can have. 690 and above is a good credit score. 720 and above is excellent. Anything below 690 might be considered fair or bad credit. And you really want to be able to determine where you are, which is why it's important to know what your credit score is. To build your credit, you want to make sure you're paying your bills on time, possibly become an authorized user on somebody's credit account. Of course, that person needs to have good credit, and maybe apply for a secured credit card. Those are just some options, not necessarily definitive, but just some options to think about if it is that you need to build credit. What can you afford? So this is something that you really want to know as well, right? In order to determine what you can afford, you can think of things in terms of how much is your current rent. So based on what you're paying now for housing expenses, regardless of whether it's rent or if you live with your parents and you're paying them a certain amount of money, but you don't call it rent, based upon what you're paying right now for housing, how much do you think you'll be able to afford or a mortgage payment. Typically, a mortgage payment includes the amount that you're going to pay back towards your loan, which is principal and interest, and then it's going to be your real estate taxes and then your homeowner's insurance. But they bundle that all in one, which makes it good because you don't have to worry about paying 3 different service providers separately. You pay all at once to your mortgage loan provider. And just because you're pre-approved for $200,000, people, that doesn't mean you need to spend it. Let me tell you something. You might get a loan amount for $300,000, $200,000, but the higher the cost of the home that you're going to buy, of course, the higher your monthly payment or mortgage is going to be. So take that into consideration. Just because you have $200,000 to spend doesn't necessarily mean you need to spend it. You might want to be in the range of 125, 150, 175, just to make sure that you're in a comfortable spot. But hey, if you can afford that 200,000, then go ahead and ball out, baby. Now, here are the documents you're going to need. You're going to need bank statements. You're going to need tax returns, pay stubs, and W-2s. Of course, if you're self-employed, your tax returns showing your self-employed income is what they're going to use. If you're employed by someone, pay stubs and W-2s is definitely what you're going to need. Here are your financing options. So grant programs are the best, right? Especially for first-time home buyers. They benefit first-time home buyers the most. So what you want to be able to do is go into your city, the city wherever you live. I'm from Philadelphia, so if you want to Google first-time home buyer programs in your city, you can do that. They will come right up, I promise you. Here in Philadelphia, we have quite a few first-time home buyer grants going on. One is called the Philly First, and that is offering up to $10,000 to help you with closing costs and down payment. That's really good. There are a bunch of other programs available. You want to Google and speak to a real estate agent like myself who can help you with identifying those programs. Your mortgage loan officer will also help you. Sometimes they have grants available that they can help you with too. Pre-approval. So this is important, right? Because before you start looking at houses, you need to be able to know what you can spend. So in order to get pre-approval, you have to do some research. Look up a couple of different mortgage loan providers. It's okay to shop around. You don't necessarily need to go with the bank that you have. So if you bank with Wells Fargo, if you bank with a credit union, you don't necessarily have to go with those options, but you can. It's okay. You definitely want to make sure you have options open to you. So looking at or shopping around, as we like to call it, for different loan providers could put you at a good advantage because different loan providers might give you different interest rates or different amounts in your pre-approval. When you go for pre-approval, you're going to have to complete an application with a lender or a bank. You must provide the requested documentation, and that's the documentation for the most part that we spoke about a couple of slides ago. You're also going to receive a pre-approval letter. Now, this is important because that's what I'll need before we go and look at houses. Your pre-approval letter is going to show the amount that you're pre-approved for, that $200,000 or $300,000, and then it's also going to show your interest rate. And these are important steps to take when you are looking to purchase a home. You want to make sure that you have everything ready and you're prepared, because you don't want to get to the point where you're like, oh, I want to do it, and then you don't have these documents and the process gets slowed up, okay? So I want to thank you for joining me for this quick presentation about what you need to purchase a home. I am so excited for you to start this journey, and I want to start it with you. So do me a favor and hit me up for your consultation today. You can email me, you can call or text me. I will be available. And again, this is AC Roby with eXp Realty signing out. You have a great night.